Welcome back to Expert Access. I'm sitting here with Dr. Lancaster, a credentialed psychotherapist practicing in California, and we were really getting deep before the break about what psychotherapy and your unique approach can do for people. And I'd really like to take it to I'd like to break a myth if we can, or maybe a misconception that some of our audience might have. They may be thinking psychotherapy, I need this when I'm in a really dark, depressed, anxious state. But as we were talking on the break, I loved what you were sharing about somebody who's in a good place getting to a greater place with your techniques. Can you dive into that? Because I really think this would be important for our audience.
Well, there is a mystery to all of us. For example, you have a dream, right? That's like a mirror of the mystery that's inside of you. So it's very organic, it's very natural. And to kind of answer your question in a very roundabout way, because I'm a pretty abstract guy, but to simplify this a little bit, the bottom line is there's many things to discover ourselves. But I also want to emphasize, before I get too much into that we are all wounded healers. This is normal. Everybody has been wounded. Yeah. And therefore, by being wounded, whether it's based on our childhood, being abused or neglected or given bad impressions, whatever it may be, those bad energies create our shadow side, which is kind of like the old Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of a thing, right. Or Banner turning into the Hulk, where I'm Mr. Nice Guy. No, you're not. I'm not greedy. Yes, you are. And thus we act in ways throughout our whole society, which is normal, but not a healthy normal, where we go ahead and create all of these mental conflicts and poor relationships with other people without knowing why we did it or where it came from. So again, we need to do our shadow work. We face our shadow and talk to it to kind of disarm it and use its energy to lift us up, as you were saying earlier, lift us up into a higher realm of consciousness, because as Carl Jung says, that is the purpose of our lives, all of our lives, to be conscious, to be aware. And when it happens, kind of like this hillside I see back here, our consciousness raises up towards the top of the mountain, where we can meet angelic figures, archetypes, you name it, gods and goddesses, whatever you want to call it, and they guide us. This is nothing new. This is back to ancient Greece and Rome, where there's many divine guides that can help our egos, which are so limited and ignorant, to receive a new knowledge about ourselves that we did not have before. And therefore we become more so that higher self, like an angel or a god or a goddess or whomever that you aspire to, so that we can be more angelic in our daily lives. We can have more of a halo, a Christ consciousness, a Buddha consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Take your choice. Because all of them, those masters, are examples of what we can become as well. Why else do they exist for all of us? I had to take this journey to get to know myself on a higher level, where I became more like a Christ consciousness or a Buddha consciousness, and so can other people as well who are willing to do the work. Being responsible, as Carl Jung had said, is extremely important in order to make that difference in our lower vibration of awareness, so that we can lift up out of it into a higher vibration of awareness, and thus we can be more mindful in the way we speak and talk and interact with people, the way we help others. When we're unconscious, that's when we say and do stupid things. When we are of a higher consciousness, then we speak out of wisdom, and we speak out of mercy and grace and love, because it's more organic in that way, natural, when we are like the quiet angels, in the way we speak and talk and react, versus the low and dirty down devil. So
I love the passion you obviously have for your work. I'd love to take this, you talked about being on this journey yourself. I'd love if you could share for the audience kind of you in this journey. What was the you before and what is the you now? What are some of the practical examples of how this has changed your life? or maybe an example of a patient or two.
Well, since I had spoken earlier about a patient, I'll bring this back to my own self. So, kind of like Freud said long ago, I notice a lot of people who are attracted to the field of psychology tend to have a bit of child abuse in their history. Here, here. So I, as well, like any other child who was born, I just got what I got. I was born to who I was born to, or wherever I was born. And the thing is that I had to deal with those cards. But as a child, obviously it was very difficult for me to know how to deal with those bad impressions that I received early on from schoolmates or parents or whomever. And so it just became my normal, my automatic, kind of like a bad hypnosis. And I didn't know any better. I thought this is reality, like a lot of people in this world. So the thing is that once I got my own therapy for many, many years, as well as my psychotherapy education, and then I met Dr. Stephan Heller, who's been my spiritual grandfather over the last 20 years. All of these people and some went ahead and showed me parts of myself that I did not realize I had within me before. Again, since when is a beautiful not a divine, but a divine is always of the beautiful. And then I realized my inner beauty, and I owned it, and I was able to have it come into fruition in the way I view people versus viewing people as an enemy like I was treated when I was young. Instead, I saw them kind of like a namaste. I recognize the God in you, just like the God in me. You are me, I am you, like the yin yang. And therefore, I want to love you like crazy because it's just going to come right back to me anyway, and vice versa. So for the benefit of the we, the benefit of the us, in love relationships, as well as personal, family, and friend-like relationships, I just noticed I started getting better results. And by getting these better results, I wanted more, to be more of my higher self, my nous or my spiritus, if you know your Greek and Latin there, in order to help this world become a better place by first helping my own world become a better place. And you can have that too. For example, if you go to my divinelifetherapy.com website, which is really a doorway to the home of Gnostic Pneumatherapy, the path work, where I mentor people to have these self-discoveries like I have had through dreams, visions, aha experiences, because they're all mirrors by the divine's grace to help us make those self-discoveries of our own inner beauty and divinity, which can heal us over in the way we speak, talk, and react to others.
Fantastic. If you're just now joining us, we're sitting here with Dr. Lancaster and really getting into some of the deep work that you can do in order to have a better life. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about the top 2 life-changing tips that Dr. Lancaster is going to leave you with today. We're also going to talk about his upcoming book. We'll see you right back after the break.